Hello everybody, this is Purge, bringing you a first-person gameplay, replay commentary. I'm doing a lion game this game. I am currently in the house. There's a lot of people around, so I'm sure you guys are going to hear background noise. James, would you like to say hello?
Hello!
Okay, that's James. Too good. Harding. I'm sure that's not going to be the only time you hear him screaming. Yeah, playing Lich support this game. I random Drow Ranger. Again, I've been randoming Drow all week, but I just don't like playing the hero that much, so I'm going to let Merlini play him instead. See how that turns out. I think he's playing him in a safe farm. Oh no, that's right, he ended up going mid, I think. I played support to Aosin. So I'm playing with Aosin Chachi, and I don't know who this. I think this was a random 5, so. Support Lion, supporting a Skeleton King, and yeah, we can talk about cool things about Lion in a second, as soon as I swap over.
And they chose me.
Alright, cool. So, Lion as a hero. My win ratio on Lion isn't super good. I'm surprised it's not higher, because I feel like I'm fairly strong at the hero, but I think I have some execution errors that hold me back a bit, and I'll talk about those as I find them. Other problems with Lion, really low armor, he has really low HP, and he also has really low base damage. I'm hitting for an average of 45, which is apparently just about the same as Lich's, but it kind of hurts his mid, basically, because it's harder for him to compete with higher damage heroes, such as Puck or Queen of Pain. They have, with 3 Ironwood branches, an extra, like, 6-7 damage than Lion on average, which is actually a pretty large amount that does impact the game, so. As a mid-hero, Lion is okay. He can work out in some drafts, but not all of them. As a support hero, he works out pretty well, but not amazingly as well. I think he's a pretty good support, though. It's really nice to have a lot of disables, and that's one of the main benefits that Lion has, is that between Earthspike as well as Hex, he has a total of 6.52 seconds of disable, which is really huge. Earthspike is slightly unreliable in that it targets the ground or a hero, and it has a travel time, so it's pretty easy to blink if you can see it or expect it coming, or sometimes even when you're fast enough you can dodge it, but the more reliable disable being Hex, of course. It's single target, it's just like having a sheep stick, except it lasts longer, costs a lot of mana, so you have to be a little careful how often to use it, though. Another bonus to Earthspike is that since it's AoE, you can get a lot of huge stuns in teamfights. You can essentially have a Ravage out of a basic skill, which makes it really good. The mana cost of the skill is decent as well, 170 at max, and Hex is pretty expensive at 200. Third skill is Mana Drain. It's the worst of his 3 skills easily, but it's pretty effective as a skill. I probably should have stunned that guy. I thought about it afterwards, but yeah, just Earthspike, just like that he just threw. It's basically the same. Well, he threw, his is called Impale, I think. Yeah, his is called Impale. They used to both be called Impale, I think, in Dota 1, but now it's Earthspike and Impale. But basically the same skill, AoE stun, disables multiple heroes, very good. Not very good in the early game. The duration is okay, 1 second at 60 damage. It's okay, but there are better stuns. So I think, yeah, I'm gonna clean up or pick up the Tiny this time, and we're gonna get some right clicks in. Since we're both ranged heroes and he doesn't have any stout shield, he actually took an insane amount of damage there. He only had 1 Tango and 1 Boots, which is way too greedy of a build. And since we are playing support here and covering the lane, he gets a bad time. So I did want to go stack this, but I'm gonna be way late. It's not gonna stack in time. I just did it just in case maybe it'll go. Occasionally I've pulled a couple seconds late, like 55, 56, and it's gone through, but that one didn't work. So that means I'm gonna have to pull through as I pull. In case you guys aren't aware, the reason that's very important to pull creeps through is if you just do a single pull, then it ends up pushing the wave. The wave will be cleared, the neutral creep wave will be cleared by your wave, and then the creep waves will come back into the lane, and they're going to end up stacking with the subsequent wave. And this is this pretty much similar to ways that people stack with Lone Druid or Nature's Prophet, is that they pull the creep wave back, or they delay it enough so that the waves stack, and once the wave pushes, eventually that EXP will get to a place, aka your tower, where you can safely grab EXP. So Silencer is going to be jacking some of this, but I will be able to pull the Mud Golems over here. And the most important thing is that the creeps die as the wave comes over. If the creeps from the first neutral camp are still there, then you're not going to be able to kill it. So at this point, I think I typed and told Silencer to start auto-attacking, because I knew we weren't going to be able to kill the Mud Golems in time. So a little auto-attacking here, and we get to split 2 creep camps worth of EXP between the 2 of us. Normally you just have 1 hero doing this jungling, but there isn't really a whole lot else for him to do, so we definitely could have gone to roam mid. We're actually an okay ganking combo. Not really that useful against Storm, because preventing him from using Vortex or Remnant is not that great, but I do have a disable, and we could go gank the Storm Spirit mid, since he's got 6 armor, or he's got pretty high armor. I think he has like 5 or 6 armor. Yeah, he's got 5 base armor, which is really huge, but even still, enough disables can really help. But careful about Alpha Wolves, by the way, with low armor. I just ended up taking like 100 damage from those. It's a moderate mistake here. I didn't actually pull that. I was just felt like pulling into the lane just to see if I could get there, and I wasn't able to get it. So it's like Chachi beginning his feed. We also have the benefit of Precision Aura, which is pretty nice. We get some extra base damage. Gives 7 to me, which is pretty good for free gold. I also grabbed Sentry Wards in case there was a D ward here. They're actually not in the lane at all, which we did realize. That was another thing Silencer could be doing. If there was a hero in lane, he could just go over there and harass him constantly and try to prevent him from getting EXP. I remember I misclicked this one. Yeah, I clicked on the wrong one. So I was going to wait a bit until the creeps. I think it's about 600 HP that you want to pull the wave. So we should be all set here. Yep, so we pull through it again. It's surprising there's so many Alpha Wolves, actually, because they really do a lot of damage. They should be able to kill the creeps pretty fast here, and unfortunately this is going to mean that I'm not going to be able to kill them. It's just going to clear up the neutrals. So, on the bright side, I mean, we're denying EXP, but most importantly, it's keeping the creep wave close to the tower, so Aosin has absolutely no fear of getting ganked. He's a low-level Skeleton King, so he's probably not in too much worry anyways, but it does impact things. And he does look like he's going for a Midas first, or at least that's what I thought when I was playing this game. We can continue pulling, but we basically decided that we weren't being very efficient with our time. Both Silencer and me are pulling the same waves, and that means we're splitting the EXP equally, and that's not really accomplishing enough. So, wanted to get back to. We told him to go stack camps instead, because at least then I can get experience or pull one camp, and then he can go stack a camp that we can end up killing later with some AoEs. We don't have that much AoE actually, but we have some things to work with. So. Skill build that I think is the best for support line is a max Earth Spike with Hex build. I think skipping Mana Drain should be done at all levels. Until like level 10, you can get a level of Mana Drain and then max it before 16. I think it's okay to max now. In the past, nobody did because the mana per second drain was not really that great. It would go up to like 80, but most people would play line mid and they would get like Arcane Boots and stuff, so they didn't really find it that necessary. But I think it's pretty good in the late game as long as you build line for HP. So what I think the best line item builds are, rather than going for like Arcane Boots early as a support, I think it's better if you go Treads, actually. Number one being his int gain I think is pretty good, so his damage does end up being decent. 3 int per level is pretty good. So late game he's going to do okay right click. You can get some mana out of Treads with Tread switching, which is obviously very, very good. And late game when you have Mana Drain, you don't need Arcane Boots at all. And Arcane Boots also scale really badly anyway, so like grabbing Arcane Boots is very often not really that great past the mid game. It's very good for my allies, but past that, not a big deal. And if we look at my teammates, I kind of lucked out this game in that none of them really needed that much mana. Lich can get his own mana with Sacrifice. Skeleton King kind of needs mana, but he can build like one item and be set. Drow does not need mana, and Silencer kind of needs mana, but his mana pool is huge, so just grabbing a mana regen item is going to do way more than anything else for him. So right now I decided to buy Observer Wards, which I'll fly to myself. I knew that the 6-minute timer is coming up, so I want to make sure that I have wards down by the time it goes dark. That way if the wards that I currently have out go down and they end up ganking, that my allies aren't going to be caught completely off guard. And you guys might be saying like, oh, well, obviously you should just have better map awareness and call missing in action and stuff. And yeah, that happens, but Observer Wards are the easiest way to fill in that gap. Like, I will almost always now, I'm a lot better than I used to be about map vision. I'm still pretty bad, but it helps a lot just to have a ward. If you're going to see people, you're going to see runes, things like that. Like, Dryranger could tell, oh, obviously rune's not bottom, because he saw an Observer Ward there. So that protects him, for example. Usually in the mid game, by the way, I like to protect mid a bit more than the safe carry. The safe carry Observer Ward here is usually used to spot out the off lane hero, but the mid lane hero often gets ganked as soon as it goes dark, pretty commonly, or they go ganking themselves. So I'm going to try to show up to this if possible. Nope, he's way dead, so I'm not going to be able to help out for that. But very important that I go mid for this, and this is something that as a support hero is really important. As soon as your allied mid hero leaves the mid lane, you should go mid if you're in the area to grab some free EXP. And the free EXP is super important because this levels up my Hex, this levels up my Earth Spike, gets me to 6 a bit faster. It is going to hurt my team in the sense that I'm not at a team fight, but they're kind of in a bad spot anyway, so I don't have to feel too bad about them all dying there. I think that was a little too greedy from them. So essentially, sapping the EXP mid and getting the very precious last hits is really good. And it's very important that you do hit the last hits, guys, because this is like the only time for the rest of the game that I'm going to be able to get a free farm in a lane where I can take all the CS that are available, basically, and I don't have to worry about the enemy team or about my allied team taking farm preference. So I'm basically just going to sit mid, take the EXP, take the gold until things change up. I should technically put another Observer Ward down to make sure that there's better vision for our carry, but I did put one up at least, so we'll have some vision going on here. So I spot the Storm Spirit now and I get a little scared. I'm going to check his inventory, and he is a level 6 hero. He doesn't have boots, but he has a bunch of null talismans. So since he's 6, I have to start playing really safe. So you'll see my positioning change pretty drastically here, because I know that if he dives me, I need to be able to react to it. Preferably, I'll be able to hex really fast. And I try to do that a lot this game, actually, but it always failed. His Vortex always came before my Hex did in almost all cases. So just something that I could work on is faster reaction times. A Hex is is an instant cast, so it can stop things like that, and usually can force him to burn a lot more mana to be able to score a kill on me. So that's an option I can go for here.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Not going to be able to pick up that last hit, and we see a ball inning going top. I'm going to do a ground stun here, because I want to get 2 if possible. And I was able to grab him. I'm going to put a Hex on Storm Spirit because I know he has the biggest reach. And that's going to allow us to get at least 1 kill out of this. So that was pretty much all I could do there to try to help him out. Wasn't quite enough, but we were able to get a kill instead of him just dying for nothing. So it was helpful. And I wanted to grab the EXP for this because it was like free EXP. And they were running away from me because they weren't aggro to me. But I did get EXP for all of it, so I was pretty happy about that. So my ground target Earth Spike ended up working out really well. Got us the stun, kept him alive, and I made sure to Hex the Storm because I knew that he was the only guy that was going to be able to get the kill afterwards. So I'm up to 800 gold now, which is okay for a support hero. I have a couple choices. I grabbed a Gauntlet early on because I had a bit of extra gold, and I didn't want to put just an Ironwood branch there. I wanted more stats. Well, more of one stats, more HP, essentially. So I ended up picking up... my choices are Wand, Urn, or Treads, basically. I can build towards those. Usually picking up a Wand early is really important. I can't believe that I actually ran past Storm just barely here. Barely missed him. I would have died if he actually came to me. Maybe not, but it would have been a little scary. But I ended up buying a magic wand here. Was my ultimate choice. See if this guy dies. I'm going to throw an Earth Spike on Storm, and we just want to make sure we get the kill, so I'm going to use the Finger of Death here. It is a huge cooldown. That was a great global silence, by the way, out of the silencer. He did a really nice job with that ulti. It guaranteed that the Storm couldn't initiate and that I could get the stun and then follow up with the ulti. But I knew that the global silence was only going to last like a second or 2 more, and I didn't really know if we had the damage output, so I just threw it. Because I know that's their mid hero. He's doing okay, and that's going to shut him down a bit. So he's got 2 kills, 1 assist, and now I put him up to 1 death. So really helpful to use your ulti to get those ganks off. You usually want to go for squishy heroes, but those aren't always available to you, unfortunately. So basically, when you can get the opportunities, you take them. And I don't always look at the total HP totals. I didn't explain that well. I don't always look at... See Merlini take some nukes here. He looked pretty dead, though. So I'm just going to go back and get more mana. I can't actually help him at all. So end up buying Treads now. I'll get a TP scroll as well. I've got 1 Sentry Ward, which I should be placing. I did place 1 mid. That's in preparation for a Nyx Assassin. I don't think he was quite 6, but he's about to be. He's level 5 right now. Once he hits 6, it's very important to have a Sentry Ward covering your mid lane and sometimes your carry as well. But mid usually gets preference because that lane is more often ganked. But Treads pick up now. I get attack speed. I can Tread switch to have more int. And always max Impale first as well, guys, because it does pretty good damage. If you max Hex first, yeah, you have a 4-second disable, but you have no way to do damage, and then you're pretty much limited by Finger, which is, again, a huge cooldown at level 1. So I'm going to TP in here. So I was hoping to deny that. I didn't get my Tread switch off before I got jumped on here, which is a little scary. I'm going to throw the Hex on him, throw the Earth Spike as well, and his Chain Frost was just glorious, so that was pretty cool. And we're going to end up staying alive, so a little scary for me. I definitely was a little out of position. My reaction time after Storm went in was a bit slow as well. I felt pretty jumped on. No pun. I guess, is that a pun? Does that count? I felt pretty jumped on, and I got a little flustered. But I was able to Hex the Storm, and we were able to turn the fight. So it was a great... I think that was a global silence again, if I'm not mistaken. No, it was not, actually. So I just landed the stun, I guess. Didn't he, like, ball lightning, like, 4 times or something ridiculous? I feel like that just happened. I'm not quite sure, but I pick up another Gauntlet now because I do want to make an Urn. I think Urn's a great ability, or a great item for a line. And actually, oh, okay, so this is why we went on him. He was really low mana, actually. Oh, he so almost died here. Man, it's going to be weird to watch this from this perspective now, because we didn't know if he was still out or not. We're like, okay, he's probably TP'd from now. He's probably TP'd. And then we, like, just checked him. Pop my wand here and a little Hex to make sure that I'm staying alive. Again, the global silence turns things. It's a really nice silence again from the silencer. So just when the Storm goes in, it's a really good way to shut him down in the mid game too. If he just pays a little attention, we're pretty set. So I'll buy some more components of Urn now. I have the double Gauntlet. Again, I'm the hero that they pretty much go on every time. Line has insanely powerful disables, and he has pretty darn good nuke damage as well. So killing him early in a fight is good because you don't want his cooldowns to come off Every, what is it, 10 seconds, 8 seconds, 12 seconds for Earth Spike. Every 12 seconds that comes off, I do good damage, and I do an AoE stun. Hex, that's not Vampire or Core. 15 seconds, a bit longer, but I mean, just as a support here, the most important thing you can do is stay alive to get another round of nukes off of your cooldowns. It just changes everything. They're actually pushing without a sentry. I think they, do I have the sentry? Yeah, I think I had the sentry, so they're going to jump on the silencer here. Unfortunately for us, it doesn't go so hot, but they are going to kill the next assassin at least. And we're running into the top lane. I really wanted to get this kill, but unfortunately, right click. Oh, we got that one. He's running. So now I'm going to have a pretty good lined up stun, because usually people will dive for it. Throw one stun there. Might be able to kill this guy. Yeah. As soon as he got hit by the Frost Blast, I saw that he was definitely low enough to get the kill. Morphlings are really hard to hero to pick up usually, so I just took it again. Use Finger of Death, spend the mana, get the kill, you're all good. So that actually turned out really well. We could kill both Storm and Morphling. We didn't really know where the Lone Druid was at this point. That's because he's been jungling the whole game. He has picked up his Midas here, but this game has been going quite well. Aosin, since then, has pretty much had free farm. He's gotten 1 kill on somebody. I have no idea who this was. But he's also killed the tier 1 tower bot, so he has been active as well. So we know that we've basically created unlimited space for our hard carry. Drow Ranger as well, of course, is a hard carry by definition. But since he's been playing the mid role, he's been ganking a bit more. So essentially, we've created a ton of space for our hard carry. We know that he's going to be pretty set for a bit. So I forgot about this. Nyx chasing me here. It took a while for them to actually get the vision, but I'm going to take a nuke here and react really slowly. It looks like it dodged the avalanche at least. And Hex the Storm, and I should have a wand. The mech was so huge. Tiny just wanted that last hit. It's a really good Chain Frost, as you guys can see. And now that I've earned, look at that, I just got 2 earned charges, that's a full HP heal, and I now don't have to go back to base. Yes, I am obviously missing mana, but as I pick up more subsequent levels, I should be able to get mana drain, which I do end up picking up this game. So we can now push mid. I'm looking for a stun maybe. I really wanted to stun that guy. We are hoping he would stop and then just be killed, but he actually balled all the way to the top lane for a regen rune, so. I thought he was pretty dead because there were a lot of heroes down there, but in hindsight, I should have TP'd a lot earlier. If I would have TP'd like a couple seconds earlier, I could have maybe helped a bit more, but again, chasing a hero. It's going to be a lined up stun, so I want a ground stun. I end up grabbing everybody except for Morphling. Grabbed him with the Hex at least, but a little misclick there, and I don't know if he's going to die from that. Yeah, you just got to heal. Okay, the toss got him. Wand again, really good. Can start juking if I need to with an urn. Always tread switch to Agi or int before you use an urn. As soon as we get one slow, we're good. Alright, we got him now. So just wanted to be within range for EXP, and I'm gonna level up to level 6 or 11. So now I get a 100-second cooldown on my ulti and more damage. So game's going really well. Wand is obviously very useful. You guys can see the benefits of having stacking HP items, especially on like a nuking disabling hero like Line. Really useful for him, treads and urn. I just really liked it. I was really happy with the treads this game, honestly, guys. I really recommend it over Arcane. Like, if you get Arcane, you stay as that like 600 to 800 HP squishy support hero. Yeah, you've got extra mana, but with proper mana usage and not wasting and maybe going back to base once in a while, you've honestly got enough. And now I can just casually switch between int and non-int whenever I need to. And now that I have 1 level mana drain, this gives me a net of 70 mana. It costs 10 to cast, but it gives me 20 mana a second for 4 seconds. So now I can go back up to full. I didn't have to buy Arcane Boots, and it's going to scale me a lot better into the late game. And how many ganks have I now survived just barely because of treads? It's been quite a few. So we put the sentry down in case the Nyx Assassin decides to try to initiate. In the meantime, we can try to take the tower. Cool little fun fact about mana drain, guys. If you use it on illusion, it one-shots them. It's pretty cool. It's a nice stun from Nyx, and that should be my deck. Yep. Watch the rest of the fight here. So basically what happened was they tossed Nyx on me. He immediately stunned. My Hex was a little slow, but upon watching this in the replay, there was no way I was going to stop that, I don't think. I was too far forward, essentially. And I do that a lot on the mini heroes because I generally play a little bit too aggressive. Same thing happened to me in the game was it 2 games ago? I can't remember. But I always stand too far forward when I should be like the counter initiator. Or at least like cover my allies, but I was way too far forward. That should have been somewhere where like Drow or Silencer sits even. Those heroes are much less likely to, they're not as important I would say, as like a line, for example. Like we don't have very many disables, so my nukes are really important to the team. So at this point I said, okay, I've got 1200, I'm going to go buy a point booster because, hey, I want to upgrade my Finger of Death, and it has 40-second cooldown in late game, which is really cool. I think if you get an Aghanims, it goes down to like 20 seconds or something crazy. But then I said, okay, I'm being greedy. I don't want to get an Aghanim Scepter. What I really need to get is a Forcestaff because that's going to increase my survivability. I can use it for my allies. I can get in position with it, which I actually forgot about almost entirely this game. But grabbing a Forcestaff will make me a lot harder to kill and give me the option to save allies as well. So decided to start that, pick up a staff first. I asked Chachi to start buying the sentries instead of me, and I had 2 wards, so I can place those. But at this point in the game, it's pretty good to finish a Forcestaff, and Lich seems to be quite a bit behind where I was. So I was pretty happy telling him to just go for it, man. You go buy some sentries, you cover that. I don't think they could see me here. It's a Phase Boots on Tiny and a Shadow Blow and a Drow, so pretty good. He de-ward that? Okay, he did. So we spend a little bit too much time standing around. We see the Morphling pushing bottom, which we could try to shut down if possible.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I wanted to TP slightly defensively there because I was a little scared that the Morphling would jump on me. I have a lot of ways to deal with him, of course, with Hex as well as Impale, but that's going to be a Global Silence trying to save SK, but it doesn't work out. We have a lot of bonus damage from the Drow right now. He looked quite dead, so I'm definitely not going to TP for that. But that's another really good reason to get treads this game is because we have a Drow Ranger. So that means as a ranged hero, I'm going to get bonus damage. It's like a free, what item is this? 36. I think Demon Edge is 46, so somewhere between a Demon Edge and a Mithril Hammer. It's really good damage for nothing. So, and also, people spend a lot of time disabled when you're playing line, so that always gives you more time to right-click. And oftentimes, especially in higher levels of play where everybody's HP is well built and things like that, it often will take every single right-click to be able to score a kill. So, really important. He's going to take the top tower, I think. I don't think I had I did have a TP scroll, but it was on cooldown because I TP'd bot, so we're unable to go TP for that one. And they're going to get that for free, which I was a little unhappy about. It happens, though. But it shouldn't. Should not happen. Try not to let that happen if you can. Morphling's still sitting mid. We don't have the best ward coverage right now. That would be my fault. But we do see the top rune, and I can see a lot of heroes there. And it looks like Drow picked off the Nyx Assassin on the bot lane. Always go for the easy last hits if possible. Plus range creeps give a little bit more gold than regular ones, I believe. And now we can shift around. I think the battle plan at this point was to push. They have a lot of heroes that are late game carries. Morphling, Lone Druid more or less, Tiny can be, and Storm Spirit is a pretty good late game hero as well. So we kind of wanted to start pushing, especially because Eosin's been farming this whole time, and he hasn't really accomplished a whole lot. Looks like he went for a Phase Boots Drum, which gives him a lot of int, and then he grabbed out an Oblivion Staff for mana regen, and now he's making an Armlet, which is a little wacky. In a lot of ways, it's better to not finish an Oblivion Staff so early, but he does... The reason he did this is because he's worried about mana drain, and Nyx Assassin does have mana drain, so if the way his ulti works is if he doesn't have mana for reincarnation with when he dies, then he ends up dying forever. So Eosin, I think, was probably just covering his bets a bit with the drum as well as the Oblivion. I think it's a little into overkill. Usually just the drum is going to be enough, or he could grab like a wand temporarily, but regardless, he will eventually build this into an Orchid, and Orchid is great against a lot of these heroes, mainly Storm as well as Morphling. Both of those two heroes are pretty hard countered by a single target silence that is reliable. So basically anytime you see them, you can silence, you can throw your nukes and try to burst them down and kill them. So, oops, I don't want to watch Eosin play. So I should have enough gold for a Forcestaff now. I think it's been recently reduced. I might be about 100 gold off. I don't think it's quite there, but told Chachi to place a sentry, and there it is. Should be able to maybe pressure this tower. At the very least, we can start a fight. Eosin does have his ulti now, so you can definitely tie twice, so we're looking okay. And they are coming from the jungle. This is kind of why you put the sentry here. We'll spot some heroes. Storm Spirit goes in. I really wanted to hex him first. I didn't actually know if he was going to ball lightning. My Impale there was a complete waste. That was a big mistake. I could have had that to maybe grab the Storm Spirit right there. I don't know why he just ball lightning 80 billion times, but Sunser's going to die to the that ulti. We do kill the bear though. The Chain Frost didn't kill a hero, but just picking off the bear was quite nice, I thought. I'm going to hex him. Right click a couple times, then we go for the impale. I didn't end up using my Finger of Death there, but I definitely could have. My Urn usage here was a misclick. I wanted to use it on somebody else, but I double tapped. Who should I have fingered? Did Storm end up living? Looks like he ended up living. He doesn't have that much HP. I guess I could have just ultied him after the Hex. Not quite sure. Regardless, we still won the fight. Went pretty good for us. We used Chain Frost just to kill a bear, but I mean that's kind of cool, right? Right, guys? He ends up resummoning. Does he actually have a bear? Ooh, it looks like his bear died twice there. So that was pretty big for us. Because I think he must have resummoned it and then died again or something. Not quite sure. But there he is. Forcestaff is finished. I have 1100 HP. I have a Forcestaff if I get into stuff. If I get entangled by the bear. If Tiny's chasing after me. If Nyx Assassin's ready to stun me or something. Or even if I get Ethereal Bladed or something. I can escape some sorts of damage. Or save allies from doing it. I mean, it really is a great defensive item. Just like moving your allied hero's positioning when they're stunned, it's not always the perfect direction, but just getting them a bit away from their opponent can oftentimes make the difference because it allows them to make slightly different decisions based on their new positioning. That can sometimes be worth it. I'm going to see Silence die for pretty much free here, but I'm going to try to follow this up here. I was really hoping he would stun the Nyx so that I could guarantee this kill here. To throw the stun. That is a Morphling who just used EV. So I'm going to one-shot him. Just really happy with that. I'm going to drain some of his mana since I knew he was going to die. Forcestaff the SK there, for example. Should be able to start earning. So yeah, if you guys don't know how Ethereal Blade works, as you cast it, it makes you Ghost, and if you use it, you end up taking bonus damage from magic. So I just hit him with my ulti and he died. It was pretty simple. Worked out nicely. I didn't actually know if it was going to one-shot him. It was a bit of a gamble, but does 725 damage right now. It looked like after numbers it did about 770, I think, after resistance. So it was resisted down by base armor resistance, but boosted up. I think it's like part of the same equation. The Ghost Scepter is probably the same equation as damage, basic magic resistance, but he died. That's the important part. And he was really heavily morphed into agility. Yeah, 720 HP. I killed him by about 50 damage. I was barely able to one-shot him, so too greedy on him. And a little play that you can always do against those kind of heroes. Ended up not throwing a disable there because I figured it was going to be a little unnecessary. And I'm going to earn back up to full because I want to stay full HP. We should be able to just take the tower here with a little brute force. He's trying to bait out a global ulti, I think. Earn barely keeping his HP up enough. And we finally take our Rex, so 25 to 17. If we look at the graphs, we have a pretty good advantage, but it's mostly just from snowballing on kills. Things like that. EXP is quite moderately in our favor as well. I've got 3 levels of mana drain now. This is actually really good use against Morphling, if I want to. Morphling is very mana dependent, so draining his mana by a couple hundred points could cost him a lot. But largely I'm just going to be looking to ulti him. And he's going to almost die from the low ground. That was pretty sweet. So toss in on the Nyx, and that time I actually stunned in time. So we get a really easy kill on the Nyx Assassin. I don't even know if we had a gem. We obviously had a ward down. But I wasn't sure if we had a gem up. And again, I'm going to try to keep Aosin's HP up here. I'm going to throw a double stun, and that should be a kill. Yep, got him. He ended up waveform dodging my nuke, which I was really sad about. But I was hoping to kill him again. I need to stun the bear. He has no mana, so I wasted my time. I earned right when I got hit by that. It's really frustrating. Get some mana drained here. The range on the break range is actually a lot higher now than it was in the past. Break distance is 1200. It used to be way lower than that. You can see with Pugna as well as mana drainers like Lion. So yeah, overall pretty solid game. If you guys aren't aware, it looks like we're gonna win. We took a double Rex at 26 minutes. They have a bunch of hard carries. None of them were really able to finish an item. Looks like they tried to, but they couldn't do it. Other than the EV, of course. EV is definitely a great Morphling item.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I decided to drain mana because, dang it, I need some mana. Should have hexed that guy. I was a little slow. But again, I can just earn and heal back up to full. I'll be okay.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
I was waiting for a range creep here, and I realized I probably ended up taking a lot of HP damage. You don't earn it's not broken by regular creeps, only by hero or player-based damage. So that's all good. I was gonna try to save him. Fortunately, I was a little late, not able to do it. We might be able to kill him actually. I decided to just finger for the kill. Got it, guys. Gotta keep this Aosin character alive. Now I realize this is in some trouble. If I get entangled, I'm so dead. My hex is a little slow there. If I hex the bear earlier, it does stop Radiance Burn, by the way. Decided I wanted to fight more. Pre-6 stun. Now we run. So yes, well, we're technically throning and it's delaying the game and all that stuff. Oh, come on, Chain. That's pretty good. Storm is a scary hero. Oh, there's a Morphling as well, actually. Did a bunch of magic burst to me. So I was looking at like a 5-1-8 support game, but then we decided to start diving, and now I've died 3 times, which is not an accurate representation of how well my line game went, you know? So, as this wraps up, the game is about over, guys. Thanks everyone for watching, by the way. I haven't been able to make too many videos lately because we've been at E3, but I got back today. Finally finished eating and stuff. I'm recording this at like 1 AM. I'm getting on an airplane in about 5 hours to go back to Wisconsin. I have a college friend's wedding to attend, and I'm sorry. I know that means I might not be able to make as many videos, which is pretty much a confirmation, but yeah, I'm not going to be able to make as many videos. I'm going to bring a laptop home, though, and I'm going to bring... I have XSplit, and I can run Dota on the computer, so I should be able to record some stuff and play. I have a couple days off. I have like Wednesday, Thursday. I have nothing to do other than hang out with local friends or something. But I should be able to make videos while I'm home, so I'm hoping to catch up a lot. I also should be able to make a lot of in-game guides and things like that. I'm going to bring my keyboard and mouse home, and that way I can play at fullish capacity. The audio quality will be worse because I'll be using my headset. It's a great headset, but it's not as good as my desktop setup. And I should have some more stuff for you guys to watch. So sorry for not posting as many videos, but I've been really busy this last week. So many people to hang out with in Los Angeles, so it was really fun. I had such a blast at MLG this weekend. It's been really good. Okay, so I think that's about it. That is Lion. I don't know when the last time I made a Lion video is, tomorrow, or the next time I make a video it's going to be Morphling. I played a Morphling game earlier tonight that ended up going well for once. It's mostly Merlini carrying me and substitute of Blitz, so I'm sure there will be a couple comments about that. But I thought it was finally a decent demonstration of Morphling. I've played him quite a few times now. I'm getting better and better. I still feel quite a bit sloppy on him, but I'll get there eventually. So, and I kind of like him as a carry now, so hopefully that will increase with the future. So that is a Lion support. I think that's the best way to play him. I really like Treads, Wand, get a drum, and go do some fun stuff. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.